Hey, what's going on? Nothing's going on? We're doing a show. That's what we're doing. These two, and I'm very grateful to them. These two are sitting there on their phones, paying no attention to me. I certainly hope you at home aren't on your phones like my son and my wife.
Some very eventful things going on.
What's going on? What's going on that's more important than you watching your father do a television show?
My friend Danny just shaved his head on Instagram Live.
Your friend Danny just shaved his head on Instagram Live? That is better than my show. Is there a photo? Can I see a photo?
I don't have a photo now.
Okay.
Eventually.
What are you doing over? What's so important about your phone over there?
Nothing you need to know about.
Well, my birthday is coming up. If you're getting 15 and a half, 33, in case you're wondering. Hi. Welcome to A Late Show. I'm your host, Stephen Colbert. It's the last day of April. You know what they say. April showers aren't something I've been doing much in April. Maybe I'll start showering in May. Not a word. Not a word. April 30th also marks the end of the federal social distancing guidelines. And yesterday, President Trump announced that they will not be extended further. So, the answer to the question, when will coronavirus resurge again, is... It's gonna be May. Trump was asked about the lapsing of the guidelines yesterday in the Oval Office.
So the current guidelines then will not be extended after tomorrow.
And I think a way of saying it, they'll be fading out.
Come on, you're the government. You got to be more specific about what the rules we got to follow are. There's a reason why the highway department doesn't make signs that just say, speed limit, no longer 55. Since Trump has been royally shanking his coronavirus press conferences lately, he's got a new strategy now. Invite individual governors to the Oval Office. Well, today, Donald Trump met with New Jersey governor and nutcracker that wished to be a real boy, Phil Murphy. During the meetings, Trump said that he's sure the economy is ready to bounce right back.
There's tremendous pent-up demand. I feel it. I feel it. I think sometimes what I feel is better than what I think.
Anything is better than what you think. But then again, that's just how I feel. Trump talked about the early fears of equipment shortages.
And there was never a person that needed a ventilator that didn't get one in any state. Not one person that needed a ventilator. So we didn't say he didn't get a ventilator and somebody passed away, somebody didn't make it. Now we had a mask problem. Now we have so many masks, we don't know what to do with them.
Here's an idea. Put one on Mike Pence. Then Governor Murphy used an analogy that Trump really liked about how the coronavirus took him by surprise.
As Mike Tyson says, everyone's got a plan until you get punched in the face.
And we did.
It makes sense that Trump would relate to Mike Tyson. They're both 80s pop culture icons with horrible histories with women who need no excuse to eat a human ear. It's the bacon of the face. I love a good ELT. Trump tried to put a positive spin on how many cases of the coronavirus the U.S. now has.
You have areas that are really at a very low point and really heading, I always say, heading south quickly. And that's what we want.
Yep, things are really heading south quickly. I mean, the numbers are rapidly going down the tubes, just circling the drain. And that's what we want. One pundit was quick to respond to Trump's heading south comment.
I don't think it means what you think it means.
Inconceivable! Trump didn't seem too worried about opening up too quickly and causing a second wave of cases.
We'll put out the embers or we'll put out the flames. There'll be pockets of fire and we'll put them out. If you have I call them burning embers, boom.
Of course, because the sound you most associate with safely putting out a fire is boom. Trump doesn't talk like a guy who knows what he's talking about. Can you imagine him as your doctor? We're going to go in there and we're going to take the little knife and we're going to go cut, cut, snap, snap. And there's going to be, I call it blood. Blood right there, okay? But we're going to say no blood, then stitch, stitch, stitch. Then we go into the place where the blood was and boom. Trump also addressed why he thinks certain states don't need as much testing.
You have some governors that love the tests. You have others that like doing it a different way, an old-fashioned way.
Is old-fashioned what you're looking for in medical care? I don't need these newfangled tests and swabs. Just cover me in leeches and balance my humors. How about a tincture of mercury? Trump also thinks that coming up with a vaccine is really not that big a deal.
This 100% scenario you're laying out, going back to the way it was, is that before the vaccine or after the vaccine?
So a lot of progress is being made on a vaccine, but you never know, right? You never know. If you don't have a vaccine, if the virus is gone, we're like we were before.
Oh, where we were before. Good. So instead of being in a global pandemic, we'll go back to being completely unprepared for a global pandemic. That answer made no sense, as one reporter pointed out.
Without a vaccine, sir, why do you think the virus will just be gone?
It's going to go. It's going to leave. It's going to be gone. It's going to be eradicated.
It's going to go. I mean, it's going to leave. It's going to slip out the back, Jack. Make a new plant stand. It's going to get on the bus, Gus. You want more? I got 50 of these.
Here's the thing. Trump doesn't want everything to go back to normal because we're ready for it to go back to normal. He wants everything to go back to normal because he's bored.
I've been at the White House now for many months, and I'd like to get out.
Mr. President, we would all like to get you out of the White House. Now, there's one activity Trump especially misses, and that's his rallies.
Hopefully, in the not-too-distant future, we'll have some massive rallies, and people will be sitting next to each other. I can't imagine a rally where you have every fourth seat full. Every 6 seats are empty for every one that you have full. That wouldn't look too good.
Ooh, yeah, that would look horrible. It would look like this. But it's not just his own rallies he wants dangerously full. It's also everywhere else.
I had one restaurant owner come up to me and said, "Sir, you know, I'm going to be opening up, but if I distance too much, I have 50% of the restaurant I had." I said, "And you'll also have a worse atmosphere."
Wow. Nice job, Consoler-in-Chief.
I said it will also have a worse atmosphere and make far less money. I guess what I'm saying is your restaurant is heading south quickly, and that's what we want.
Now, multiple polls show Donald Trump is trailing Joe Biden in swing states. But in an interview, Trump said,
I don't believe the polls. I believe the people of this country are smart, and I don't think they would put in a man who's incompetent.
You're right. The people of this country wouldn't. The Electoral College, on the other hand, they're fine with it. But despite not believing in these polls, he still found someone to blame them on. Trump campaign manager and what happens when your local militia pools their money to buy one suit, Brad Parscale. On Friday, Trump berated Parscale for the damaging poll numbers, and at one point even threatened to sue him. Sue him? That's not how you handle disappointment. I'm sorry, sir, we stopped serving breakfast at 11.
Well, then you'll be hearing from my lawyer, Mrs. Butterworth, from the firm of Butterworth, Jemima, and Bagel. Okay? That Bagel guy's a tough cookie.
But they were able to hash things out after Parscale brought polling numbers that were more positive for Trump, and the president seemed in a far better mood. Yes, I'm sure, and I'm being told we have a copy of that poll. There you go. Now, Trump claims this whole spat with Parscale is overblown, tweeting late last night,
just told that the fake news CNN is falsely reporting that I was recently shouting at my campaign manager over made-up nonsense. Actually, he is doing a great job. I never shouted at him, been with me for years, including the 2016 win, and have no intention to do so. Just fake news.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I mean, can you imagine Trump ending a relationship he's had with someone for years? Now, each state is tackling reopening differently. Some are going full Mad Max because recently Georgia announced they'll be allowing teens to get their license with just parental approval, scrapping driver's tests. Okay, well, there's going to be a bunch of untested teenagers driving down there, so if you're headed to Georgia, please stay off the roads. It's much safer to take the midnight train. Hoo-hoo! The change was enacted through executive order by Georgia governor and dad who did a little too much coke before the father-daughter dance, Brian Kemp. And according to Kemp's rules, teens who've had their learner's permit for over a year can simply go online and obtain their license after getting a parent or guardian's okay. Now, if you're worried the kids will just forge their parents' signatures, you're smarter than the governor of Georgia. Driving schools are hopeful that this plan will work, with one instructor saying, "I'm hoping most parents won't just sign off on those 40 hours. I'm hoping most will take the time and drive with their kids before they let them obtain their driver's license." We are talking about parents who've been trapped in their houses with teenagers for 7 weeks. I'm guessing they're going to take the time to say, "Do you know how to open the garage? Great. The pedal on the right is go. Here's $20 and a fake ID. Go buy daddy some wine." We have got such a show for you tonight. I'll be talking to the Senate Minority Leader, Chuck Schumer. But when we come back, meanwhile...